Cartier have been top dog in the jewellery world for years, but now the big fashion houses are muscling in on a market worth over £50 billion.
There's a lot to play for, and they are all elbowing each other furiously out of the way.
The battle of the jewellery brands is fought not just on the high street, but in the rarefied world of PR and celebrity.
There are people who are fortunate enough to have the money to indulge in these pleasures.
Really good food.
Yeah.
Very nice view of Paris.
What about
Very
jewellery?
beautiful jewellery.
But Cartier have a trump card. King of jewelers and jeweler of kings. They say it and they play on it.
Cartier has always been associated with royal families, and I'm not the first one to have to address, a king or a queen.
The showdown for Cartier and their competitors will be this Christmas. Tonight, the Money programme goes behind the scenes with the world's most famous luxury brand.
Yeah, we can show our watches here.
This one, yeah.
And asks, can any of their rivals get Cartier? Arnaud Bombardier is head of Cartier in the UK. He's a walking, talking advert for a brand that personifies luxury. He lives the lifestyle he sells, and he's more French than the Marseillaise.
I represent the company, I'm the ambassador. Not only because my initials are A and B, as you can see in my shirt, but that's the diminutive for ambassador. I'm the ambassador of Cartier. I need to look good, and I do wear my watch on the cuff, as you can see. But, I can choose from time to time with different watches that I may have. I only wear Cartier, of course.
He has this wonderful, extravagant French accent, and you stare at him open-mouthed. You think, I can't believe you're not putting this on. But it's real. This is who he is. He's incredibly sort of smooth and suave and ho-he-ho the whole time.
If I could give you a trophy, my dear.
He is Mr. Cartier. He is an extremely popular character in London. He's incredibly social, and a lot of the PR that surrounds Cartier is around Arnaud.
Arnaud isn't just seen at the best social events, he hosts them. In fact, he's a celebrity himself, and he loves to talk about what's made him one.
I think Cartier is the best brand name in the world in terms of luxury. And I want people to know that we don't compromise at Cartier, that we want it to be the best.
Arnaud Bombardier has been very clever in cultivating a very specific crowd.
I like your Picasso.
I got that in Cannes. I had a short-lived series.
He's always very good. At any party, at any gathering, he's always sort of identifying who the key people are, and he will make sure he's there talking to them, and whether he's actually flogging them Cartier watches at the time, he's giving a very good impression of the company.
Thank you. I show my Cartier watch.
Cartier are also kings of PR, and they see to it that celebrities are the jewel in their crown.
I think that we have a good PR team, led by me, by the way. I hope I'm not too bad at it, where we have been developing quite a few things to build up the awareness of Cartier.
Tonight's a party to launch their biggest PR bash of the year, the Windsor Polo, later in the month. It's crucial for Arnaud, and it's a royal magnet.
I remember that a few years ago, Prince William came, and it was almost like an outing for him. He was 18 years old, and he came to our polo, where, luckily enough, he had quite a lot of friends of his which were there, and he came and was the star of the day. But, how can he not be the star? He's so fantastic. And by the way, he does play polo, too, and plays very well, so very nice.
No Prince William tonight, but Cartier have pulled in the celebrities. The right people at the right events will bring the right number of column inches in Hello and OK magazines. Model Emma B is a regular on the Cartier circuit. Arnaud is here to give a welcoming speech to the polo players and partygoers.
First of all, I want to salute all the players, of course, but all the beautiful ladies here. It's fantastic for me to see so many beautiful ladies here around.
But behind the elegant profile, Arnaud has a big problem. The jewellery markets become tougher and more competitive. Cartier and Arnault need to watch their backs.
There's enormous competition in the fine jewellery market. If you think that the fine jewellery market at the moment is approximately a $50 billion market, and all the reports are saying that it will very shortly be an $80 billion market, that's just for diamond set jewellery. So there's a lot to play for, and they are all elbowing each other furiously out of the way.
Cartier are number one in jewellery with a turnover of £1.25 billion. Their closest rivals and neighbours are Tiffany, known for their engagement rings, and the Italian company Bulgari, who specialise in contemporary designs. But it isn't just the old rivals who are a threat. Many of the best-known fashion and perfume houses like Chanel, Dior and Gucci have launched their own cleverly branded fine jewellery ranges for the first time. Arnault's confident he'll see off the new kids on the block.
Obviously, those big players would like to have a little bit of the cake. Now, will they get it really? That's another question. First of all, because we're there. We don't want to let the cake be eaten by too many players.
Cartier's master plan this Christmas is to revamp one of their oldest and most successful 1920s designs. It's risky. They'll be up against the best in modern innovative designs from the fashion houses.
I think it's going to be one of the most competitive that we've known for many years. All the big brand names are jostling for position in Bond Street. It's incredibly action-packed. New lines are coming out, new launches, high jewellery collections are being flown around the world to tempt people.
Across the channel, the battle lines are being drawn. Louis Vuitton, the world-famous luggage brand, are launching a fine jewellery range in Paris. What's more, they've snared the industry's hottest designer.
Marc Jacobs, this brilliant fashion designer, has added his stamp, his seal of approval, his seal of fashionability to fine jewellery for the first time.
And he's pretty cool right now, isn't he?
Marc Jacobs is the coolest person on a cool day on Planet Cool.
You know, it's such a great thing. I came to Louis Vuitton all these years ago, and they didn't have any ready-to-wear. They didn't have any shoes. All they had was like luggage and trunks and some handbags. But now we do these fashion handbags. We started doing a charm bracelet a while ago, and now we have tonight the launch of our first collection of fine jewelry.
Like Cartier, what Louis Vuitton is selling in Paris tonight is celebrity. As the first guests arrive at the company's headquarters, everyone has their picture taken in front of the company logo. It's an impressive turnout. One of the most glittering is Catherine Deneuve, darling of French cinema and a 60s icon.
Well, you know, Vuitton, I'm French, so it's a name I've always known. I remember looking at Visconti having the luggage of Louis Vuitton, and everybody saw that he had luggage to his own name, you know. And Vuitton is something I've been knowing for a very, very long time.
And there's American actor Val Kilmer. Still crazy after all these years.
So, what can I ask you, why are you here tonight? I'm from BBC Television. Why are you here tonight?
We were invited.
What better reason? And what are you looking
Really
to see?
good food.
Yeah.
Very nice view of Paris.
What about
Very
jewelry?
beautiful jewelry.
And Brian Ferry is on the invite list because he's Brian Ferry. Even the Brit fashion writers have been invited. Hilary Alexander from The Telegraph, getting caught up in the celebrity merry-go-round.
Merci, my dear.
She thinks Cartier is facing real competition.
The fact that Chanel have introduced fine jewellery, Dior are bringing in jewellery, every designer now is bringing in jewellery because that is the new extension to the luxury brand.
The designs are based on the Louis Vuitton luggage known around the world. They use miniature trunks as packaging, and in some pieces, the padlock as clasps. Louis Vuitton have invited journalists from all over the world to try out their new range. What they write will be critical. Prices go from £300 to over £100,000. The designs will be in the shops ready for the Christmas market. Louis Vuitton pulled off a masterstroke recently by announcing a deal with De Beers, who produced 60% of the world's diamonds. Their president says it'll create huge potential for their branded jewellery.
I think the share of jewellery will increase significantly in the next few years, because you can have a beautiful stone, several carats, but at the same time the image and the vocabulary of a bronze. So you have the two pleasures, the pleasure of the jewellery and the pleasure of the bronze.
Despite the new challenge from one of the biggest brand names in the world, Arnault doesn't think they're in his league.
What I've seen is fun, is nice, but not in competition with whatever we do. I mean, you know, it's more of a gimmick for the time being, as much as they do it well and they present it well, and their aim is to grow, obviously, but I don't think that it is yet a big threat.
But Arnault believes Cartier's history gives him an unbeatable edge. They began 157 years ago in Paris, and they've designed jewellery for royalty ever since. One of the first was Queen Alexandra, wife of Edward VII. The royal patronage continued when they moved to London in the 1920s.
The thing about Cartier is that they have this wonderful heritage, this wonderful history. You go into their shop on Bond Street, you're surrounded by royal warrants. I mean, you literally everywhere you turn, there's a picture of a queen wearing one of their tiaras or, you know, huge things all over the place.
The Queen Mother was a customer too. Royal photos line the walls. As designers, they were also one of the first to capture the spirit of Art Deco. Even their latest designs, like the Kiss of the Dragon, have become fashion classics.
I hate you too. But I won't stop now.
But times are changing in the jewellery world. In the late 90s, along came P. Diddy, and with him hip-hop. And suddenly, yo, bro, big brash bling-bling jewellery was popping up all over the shop. It was okay to flash your cash.
Hate my dress code, Gucci this, Fendi that. What you expect? People warn me, when you on top, there's envy.
At the same time as hip-hop was triggering a whole new market for jewellery, Cartier made a fatal mistake. In 2001, they dumped their cheaper-priced items, known as low entry prices. That's around £500 for a ring. Now buyers found the cheapest Cartier product was setting them back thousands.
It's very important for any of these jewellery houses to lure in the entry level. You know, entry level is key. It's where all the gold comes from ultimately. And if a company like Cartier or any of them drops the ball and stops paying attention to their entry level and stops providing the product that is going to suck in these customers, they really are in a lot of trouble.
In 2000, Bulgari, their closest rival, grabbed the opportunity with open arms. They produced a low-cost ring known as the B01 for £350. Sales went through the roof. Suddenly, profits from the £1 million sparkler like this one weren't enough. New lines, which in this game should make up 50% of revenue, dropped to around 6%.
We forgot about the entry prices. We forgot about a few accessories, about the younger generation, the younger people, and we made a mistake.
The effect on Cartier was dramatic. Sales slumped by 10%. They were now owned by Richemont, a vast international luxury goods company based in Geneva. And what's more, they were the group's biggest earner. If they started to wobble, then the effect on the owners would be catastrophic. The head of Richemont acted immediately, and there was a boardroom coup. The low entry price was reinstated, and Arnault survived.
I think it's business life. I mean, you know, so sometimes, I don't know if you called it a boardroom coup or whatever. Yes, it's true that at one time the strategy had to be changed, and the president of the company was changed.
Cartier's sales recovered with new low-cost lines. Now they're planning a pièce de résistance for the vital Christmas market. It's a modern take on one of their most historic and successful designs, Trinity. It was inspired by a French writer and artist 80 years ago.
The Trinity was first designed in the 1920s for Jean Cocteau, who wanted a ring that expressed love, friendship and fidelity, and they made this with the 3 different kinds of gold. And it's become a classic. It's a iconic symbol of Cartier.
It's a bold move and not without risk.
It's extremely important because, first of all, Trinity is Cartier. A lot of companies, a lot of people have been trying to grab the Trinity concept for themselves, but it's Cartier. It's completely 100% Cartier.
Tiffany have their hopes for a low-entry bestseller this Christmas too. It's called the Atlas Collection, and some pieces are under £200.
I think Bulgari, Cartier and Tiffany are obviously incredibly strong, but there are a lot of strong players in that market, and I think it would be extremely unwise of any of them to rest on their laurels, because there's some very aggressive and some very talented people out there with great business brains as well as the design sense who are going to be snapping at their heels.
Hello, how are you? Lovely to see you. This is Duke of Richmond, Mr. Jan Rupert.
It's June, and Cartier's business offensive gets into gear. Arnault is hosting an exclusive get-together on the lawns of Goodwood House in Sussex. So many guests, so little time.
I sat next to George Lucas last night at dinner.
Did you?
And I adored him.
Very good.
We talked about politics.
This
and
is a
everything.
Viscount Cowdray. Hello, Michael.
How are you?
I'm very well, and you? Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you.
Cartier splash out hundreds of thousands of pounds on these events, but they're all carefully targeted.
I wanted to develop the British market. And so I said to myself, together with my team, what can we do to address these people, this market, and to ensure that people will know us, will know what we're doing, and will remember Cartier when it's come for shopping.
Discovering the English have a passion for sports cars, Arnault decided to sponsor part of the Goodwood Festival of Speed.
We are at the same table. I need to just sell it to this.
Big-name celebrities means free publicity for Cartier, so everyone gets spoilt rotten. This is as close to PR perfection as it's possible to get. 300 of the world's well-heeled on the lawns of Goodwood House sipping champagne and talking about Cartier.
The whole idea.
The VIP guest list includes supermodel Elle Macpherson, style guru Terence Conran, racing driver Sterling Moss, and last but not least, a royal, Lord Linley. The actor and part-time Cossack, Jeremy Irons, also lends his weight.
If a firm makes watches, how do you sell that? How do you do that? If you're making the best, people who want those sort of things and appreciate those sort of things also appreciate great motor cars, great speed, great beauty, great surroundings here at Goodwood. It knits together, and I think the sort of people that Arnault has collected here today are people who appreciate excellence.
Outside the private marquee, Cartier is showing a unique collection of vintage cars that members of the public can admire. And at the same time, they can spot Cartier's guests arriving for their champagne lunch. Cartier want it to be a desirable gateway into their exclusive world. Arnault has organised a panel of celebrity judges to present prizes for the best vintage cars on display here. Naturally, they're judging style and elegance rather than trims and spoilers, although some aren't quite on message.
So what's the link here between Cartier and cars?
No idea. Absolutely no idea.
Because they need to be.
Do you know, I have no idea what Cartier make. Are they champagne?
Behind the informality and razzmatazz, Cartier are concentrating on business. They're giving away Cartier watches for the prize giving.
And how fitting that the owner of Girard-Perregaux watches should win a Cartier item.
Specially selected photographers are on hand to capture the moment, helping Cartier to milk it for all it's worth.
Advertising, yes. Editorial. That's where.
Their critical launch of the Trinity collection is only a few months away.
Maybe make sure that all your journalist friends.
Will the remodeled 1920s designs capture the imagination of the Madonna and Beckham generation?
It's a young line, and that we need to get that message across.
The Trinity range goes all the way up to several £1,000s, but they want to reel in that all-important first-time buyer.
We have some product like the Baby Trinity, for example, which starts at £200. So it's very important that we for this type of product that we really advertise in some very young magazine.
Exactly. So we're really waiting for the advertising visuals, and I think it's very exciting. Create something that will really be noticeable. So we're thinking of perhaps doing double page spreads, and using those two spreads like that will create real standout. We hope.
Okay, yeah, sure. I agree. If we have the money, the problem is that double spread, I mean, you know, it's when you're rich.
Computing to that is too small.
With the Trinity launch almost finalised, Arnaud has another chance to ratchet up the PR with his biggest client yet.
I'm very flattered, honoured. I mean, I don't have words to say how much I'm pleased that Her Majesty the Queen is gracing her with her presence here on a year-to-year basis. I mean, she's coming every single year. She doesn't need to come all the way on our grounds, and I think it's just wonderful.
It's the day before the climax to Cartier's social calendar, the Windsor Polo. The Queen is due to present the prizes, so everything has to be right.
Very relaxed.
Cartier have gone for a South Pacific lemon theme. Arnaud arrives to check progress. It's the 20th anniversary of Cartier's involvement at Windsor. That means Arnaud has met the Queen 20 times. And has 20 photographs on his mantelpiece to prove it. Arnaud needs to check who's actually going to be there tomorrow. The good news is that there are royals coming, and that guarantees headlines.
The French ambassador and his wife?
Yes, exactly.
Then the ambassador Danilovich and his wife?
Yeah.
And who else is upstairs?
The Queen, and I don't know who else the HPA may put up there.
And is Fergie going to be there or not?
She's going to be
They
the
are
one
coming,
yes.
Not upstairs.
Andrew's coming. They're all coming.
And Andrew's coming too?
Then there's a tricky question of social etiquette. Who sits next to who? And why? Arnaud's been watching late-night TV.
We change the thing. I'd rather have Kim Cattrall next to me rather than a dear friend. I mean, I love the Countess of March. Janet's a very dear friend, but I see her all the time. Okay. I don't see Kim Cattrall. Sex in the City, okay? So.
It's a big day. Where's Kim Cattrall?
Oh, sorry, guys.
Goodbye.
Come on. Here.
No Kim Cattrall for Arnaud. She hasn't shown. But Baywatch hunk David Hasselhoff has. The press love him.
Yes.
So does Arnaud.
That is my photographer, my guy there. Okay?
Yeah, we should show our watches here.
This one, yeah.
Another Cartier photo opportunity.
He said if I show the watch, I get a 10% discount.
This may look like another social event for Cartier. More champagne, more celebs. But this one comes gilt-edged. The royals have turned up in numbers. And for Arnaud and Cartier, that means one up against the competition. Prince Harry is wowing the crowds, and the paparazzi are on full alert. There's Stephanie Powers from Heart to Heart.
Will you stop?
Stop!
That's way too close. Go back 50 yards.
Va bien?
Très bien.
Bon. Hello, Christopher.
Katrina Skepper has been coming here for 10 years.
The French ambassadors.
She's a valued Cartier customer and knows how they do business here.
This is an aspirational sport, so it's a very clever association. And I think the reason it's become so successful and so tied to the brand of Cartier and why they've been good to pursue it is because the return must be that by association, people feel cosseted and included in this rather exclusive family.
Where's my wife?
She was here, she went out for a little walk and she's come back again. She's in pink.
I see. Okay, let me go and see her. Okay.
Fergie's two daughters, Princesses Eugenie and Beatrice, emerge from the Cartier tent.
Thank you. I think they've just had enough photographs just for now.
For Cartier, it's essential they attract the new generation of royals. And there's a photo opportunity for Arnaud with Prince Harry.
Well played. I hope you were going to retain it from last year, so I was a bit disappointed, but it was very good. Okay, well played. Well played, Harry.
Really well done.
Played.
A little later, Arnaud seizes the moment to ask Harry to meet a royal-struck David Hasselhoff.
Harry, I'm coming in 5 minutes to see you on the pony line with a guy that met your mother a long time ago, who is in the box there, called David Hasselhoff. You remember him? Okay, and he wants...
But on this occasion, sadly, it doesn't look as if the prince can make it, and Baywatch star David Hasselhoff is going to be disappointed.
Okay, I'll try to come quickly, okay? Huh? Okay, thanks. Thank you. Unfortunately, Prince Harry is not keeping the trophy that he won last year. I'm disappointed.
So you can see it's a fair match. It was not thrown.
The next polo match is England versus Chile. And there's still the main prize ahead for Arnaud. The Queen's doing the presentations, and guess what? They're Cartier watches.
Playing at number 2 for Chile,
When it comes to that shot of Cartier above the Queen, handing out the prizes to the two deserving teams, shaking Arnaud Bomberger's hand, and the shot that everybody remembers and that is used for publicity year in, year out, is the Queen shaking hands with Arnaud, who is totally Mr. Cartier. So that's invaluable publicity, and very rarely will you see the Queen of England smiling, enjoying her day, and basically happily associating with a brand.
And there's even better news for Arnaud. The next day, the papers are full of stories of the first boyfriend for Princess Beatrice at Cartier's polo. And Prince Harry gets Cartier even more publicity for boisterous behaviour at the Après Polo disco that night. Cartier have spent hundreds of thousands of pounds on spoiling the rich and famous this summer. Now, with Christmas approaching, the real high street battle is about to kick off. The new Trinity range is going into the shop windows. For the low end of the market, they're using an image that will appeal to young teenage girls, but they want their mums to buy from the range as well. The glossy adverts have gone into all the right magazines, Vogue and Harper's and Queen, but Cartier aren't the only ones. Old established jewellers like Tiffany, along with the new entry fashion houses, are all filling the magazines with double-page spreads. Huge amounts are spent on marketing like this.
The jewellery market is rather like the swan, sort of gliding across the surface of the lake. They want you to think they're terribly dignified, but under the water their feet are paddling like mad.
What it will come down to is whether powerful luxury brands like Louis Vuitton can entice their customers to buy fine jewellery as well as fashion. They believe they can.
I think we have a unique positioning. You know, with, again, the 150 years of history, the tradition, the eternal values of the brand, the trunks that are made like we made them in the 19th century, and at the same time, the amazing trendy collection of Marc Jacobs.
Arnaud, too, believes history is on his side.
I feel that Cartier, since it is linked to its heritage, and as long as it will be linked to its heritage, will be a winner.
The next few weeks will decide whether Arnaud's Trinity design will triumph, or whether any of his rivals will succeed in their ambition to get Cartier.